English Premier League starts on Friday. A lot of storylines, new faces, new places. Let's run through some soccer headlines. Anybody going to beat Manchester City after what they did last year? 22, 1 and 2.
Wow.
We talked about early Holland,
Mm-hmm.
very early, the Norwegian. He had 52 goals last season in his debut season for Manchester City. They add a goal scorer, Joe Vardial from Leipzig, but they lose a couple players too. One went to Saudi Arabia. So many people have gone to Saudi Arabia. Manchester City, though, is still the team to beat. I'm intrigued to see what Manchester United is all about because the Red Devils bring in Mason Mount, goal scorer. I think he was with Chelsea. They wound up getting from Spain Rasmus Højlund. They picked up a third young player, Andre Onana. Now, they do have Marcus Rashford, amongst others, back, Casemiro, etc. Man U's got to make up some ground to chase down Man City. Manchester City trying to win third straight EPL title. I don't know what's going on with Tottenham Hotspur. This is really strange. I mean, they open this weekend, and Bayern Munich at 8 o'clock this morning, our time, firmed up a $110 million transfer deal to acquire Harry Kane from Hotspur.
Oh, wow.
Kane, of course, had 32 goals last season. He's on the brink of becoming the greatest scorer of all time in the English Premier League. I don't know how can Tottenham make a deal the weekend the season starts and let go their leading scorer, even if it's a big $110 million price tag deal. Is Kane trying to force their hand that they give him the state-of-the-art contract to stay in England? Or is he just waiting for a transaction to occur because this is the final year of his contract? It's a real mixed signals. But how could you let this happen the weekend the season is about to begin? Now you're going to let this guy go? I find that whole way of doing business really strange with Hotspur. Arsenal, pretty good offseason for the Gunners. Arsenal went out and got Declan Rice from West Ham, goal scorer, got Kai Havertz. He came from Chelsea as transfers. They're going to be good. They were good last year. They might have been a surprise team last season. Can they close the gap and move up on Manchester City? Liverpool's got the veterans, Mo Salah, Diego Jota, but they also add Alex McAllister, but they seem to be a little bit wafer thin. And I don't know what to make of what's going on in Chelsea. They purged everybody. I mean, we talked about Christian Pulisic going to AC Milan. Marcus Mount was allowed to transfer to another team within their own league. Who's going to score goals to help? It's like Raheem Sterling against the world there. So that's really an intriguing story. But City is just loaded. And Man U is not what Man U used to be. Now, maybe that's going to change with the additions to their team this year.
Yeah, I'm of course I'm rooting for City. I went to a game there in Manchester a couple of years ago with the family, and we had an incredible time. And boy, the energy in that stadium and the songs and it was a great time. So I'm on board with City, mostly because my son has been a fan of their team. But isn't it amazing how we're seeing this dynamic sort of movement of money and players and teams in almost every sport? You know, we're talking about the college football, but look at all that action that's going on in the Premier League. People getting lured by these really big contracts to other countries.
19 guys have left to go to Saudi Arabia. 19 guys from the EPL. And they all got bloated, high-priced contracts. I'll give you a sidebar story, 30 seconds, about the English Premier League. So I take a vacation to go to England and Scotland. So I'm on this tour. It's cathedrals and castles. It's just so cool. Yeah. So we're on this bus trip, and we go up north of London, and we stop at a hotel to stay the night to continue the junket to go to Scotland. We stop in Norwich City, and we're driving in off the highway, and there's the hotel, and it's attached to the soccer stadium. I said, wow. So I get settled in. I go down. I walk around the perimeter of the stadium. And then it dawned on me, this is the home of Norwich City, which at that point was in the EPL.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in the security office. There's nobody else around. It was like Friday at 4:30. I walk in, and the security guard's at the desk, and I introduced myself. I said, I'm from America. I'm a reporter. I've never been inside a English Premier League stadium. Do you think I could take a peek?" He says, "Well, you have to identify yourselves." I out of my bag, I had my Padre Press credential. I showed it to him. I said, "I cover Major League Baseball. I work in talk show radio."
Mhm.
"Yeah, I'll let you in." He says, "Just go through this door. There's an elevator. Go in, punch 5. It'll take you to the top." So I go and punch it. Whoop, doors open. I'm in the BBC booth with all the cameras
Oh,
at
nice.
the top of the stadium, looking down. What a cool experience, because the stadium colors are green and gold, which is Norwich City's
Mhm.
colors. And the stadium, it's just beautiful. So I stand there and I took a few pictures. There's nobody in the stadium. I mean, the place is all locked up. So I come back down. I say, "Hey, do you think I could walk out on the pitch?" He said, "Yeah." So he goes to the front door. He locks the front door because now it's almost 5 o'clock. He says, "Follow me." Goes out the other side in the security office, turns on a switch, and it's this long walkway. The locker rooms are on either side,
Mhm.
and they have on the walls the logos in neon lights of every team in the EPL.
Nice.
20 of them. It's really cool. So I walk all the way down, and he says, "Here's you're on the pitch on the field," and it's like the Masters, like the
Oh,
grass at
oh, yeah.
Augusta. It's just absolutely. I've taken all these pictures, so that's my cool English Premier League stadium story. Now I came back, went to the hotel. Hotel is a mob scene. They have a pub next to the hotel,
Mhm.
and the pub is full of Chelsea Blue fans because Norwich City was going to play Chelsea Saturday afternoon,
Oh,
the
okay.
next day. So I sat in the back of the pub and I watched these EPL fans sit there, drink beer, sing, point at the Norwich City fans.
Mhm.
I mean, you talk about rivalries, that was pretty cool. And Norwich City beat them the next day, which absolutely stunned me because Norwich City was fighting for its life so they wouldn't get relegated. So that's my English Premier League story. I wish I could have stayed for the game, but I had to go to Edinburgh, Scotland at that point in time. But what a cool experience. And you think of the cathedrals in Major League Baseball and the great stadiums that we were
Mhm.
in when I was a voice of the Chargers and we broadcast the NFL and places. This was really different.
Well, it fit in with your castles and cathedrals trip.
Yeah.
But I get that vibe every time I'm in a new stadium, a new ballpark. It's like you're walking into a church, you know? It's just you have that aura and you can feel the history and you know that even if you're there on an empty day, it's going to be jam packed 24 hours, however it is, and there's going to be so much energy in there. So, yeah, visiting stadiums is just a great thing to do, and it's wonderful that you were able to do that while you were traveling abroad.
Okay. Speak